Hi all, welcome back to i-TUTOR IAS Academy Tamilnadu History NCERT series. Today we are discussing Unit 4, that is Chapter 4, Jainism and Buddhism. Okay, for the UPSC exam, Jainism and Buddhism are important topics in Indian history, culture and philosophy, known for challenging Brahmanism and promoting ethical living. Okay, so it's important not only for history, it's culture and also in philosophy topic. Okay, key area of comparison include their founders, they are Mahavira and Buddha respectively. Core tenets like ahimsa, karma, and the path to liberation. For example, the five vows for Jainism and the eightfold path for Buddhism. And they are also known for spreading in different ways. Buddhism spread widely, while Jainism remained, uh, geographically contained but deeply rooted in India. Okay, so that's basic about Jainism and Buddhism. So it's our ancient history topic after our Vedic age. So here we will discuss further. In India, the republican institutions were strong in 6th century BC. Okay, so this enabled rise of heterodox sects like the Orthodox religion dominated by rites and rituals. So after Vedic age and uh, it's a Vedic age ended in not ended but Vedic age around 600 BC. So that's the 6th century BC, and among them the most successful were Jainism and Buddhism, whose impact on the Indian society was remarkable. Okay, and the causes for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. What are the causes? The primary cause for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism was the religious unrest in India in the 6th century BC because of the Vedic age reflection. The complex rituals and sacrifices advocated in the later Vedic period, in last chapter we discussed that, were not acceptable to the common people. The sacrificial ceremonies were also found to be too expensive. The superstitious belief and mantras confused the people. The teaching of Upanishads and alternative to the system of sacrifices were highly philosophical in nature and therefore not easily understood by all. So, therefore, what was needed in the larger interest of the people was a simple, short, and intelligible way to salvation for all people. So, such a religious teaching should also be in a language known to them. So, this need was fulfilled by the teaching of Buddha and Mahavira. Okay, so that is the primary cause of Buddhism and Jainism. And the growth of trade led to the improvement in the economic condition of the Vaishyas. As a result, they wanted to enhance their social status, but the orthodox Varna system did not allow this. Okay, so therefore they began to extend support to Buddhism and Jainism. So this is the second reason. The caste system and Varna system also the second reason for the Buddhism and Jainism. It was this merchant class that extended the chief support to these new religions. So first of all, we will discuss about Jainism. So for Jainism, it is life of Vardhamana Mahavira, around 539 to 467 BC. Vardhamana Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara of the Jain tradition. He was born at Kundagrama near Vaishali to Kshatriya parents. They are Siddhartha and Trisala. Okay, so Mahavira's parents. At the age of 30, he became an ascetic and wandered for 12 years. And in 13th year of his penance, he attained the highest spiritual knowledge called Kevala Jnana. It's called the highest spiritual knowledge, Kevala Jnana. Thereafter, he was called Mahavira and Jaina. His followers were called Jains and his religion is Jainism. And he preached his doctrine for 30 years and died at the age of 32 at Pava near Rajagriha. Okay, so his end was in Rajagriha. Teachings of Mahavira. So here is one picture of Mahavira. Okay, so this is Mahavira. You can Google it also. So teaching of Mahavira. The three principles of Jainism, also known as Tirthanas, that is three gems. So Tirthankaras. Okay, that is three gems. They are right faith, right knowledge, right conduct. So this is the three kind of knowledge. Okay, and the right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Right faith is believes in the teachings and the wisdom of Mahavira. Right knowledge is the acceptance of the theory that there is no God and that the world has been existing without a creator and that all objects possess a soul. So that is the right knowledge, and the right conduct refers to the observance of the five great vows. They are not to injure life, not to lie, not to steal, not to acquire property, not to lead immoral life. This is the five great vows of right conduct. And both the clergy and layman had to strictly follow the doctrine of ahimsa. And Mahavira regarded all objects, both animate and inanimate, have souls and various degree of consciousness. And the Mahavira rejected the authority of Vedas and objected to the Vedic rituals. So this is about his teachings. Okay, it's some kind of philosophy also there. And spread of Jainism. Mahavira organized Sangha to spread his teaching, and he admitted both men and women in the Sangha, which consisted of both monks and lay followers. And the rapid spread of Jainism was due to the dedicated work of the members of the Sangha. And it spread rapidly in Western India and Karnataka. Chandragupta Maurya, Karavela of Kalinga, and the royal dynasties of South India such as Gangas and Kadambas, Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas patronized Jainism. Okay, these dynasty we will discuss. By the end of the 4th century BC, there was a serious famine in the Ganges Valley. Many Jain monks led by Bhadrabhagu and Chandragupta Maurya came to Shravana Belgola in Karnataka. And those who stayed back in North India were led by a monk named Stulabahu, who changed the code of conduct for the monks. And this is about the spread of Jainism. And this led to the division of Jainism into two sects. Okay, again Jainism divided into two from here. One is white clad, that is Shwetambaras, and Digambaras, that is sky clad or naked. There is two kind of sects in Jainism. The first Jain council was convened at Padaliputra by Stulabahu, the leader of Digambaras. Digambaras are the sky clad in the beginning of the 3rd century BC. The second Jain council was held at Vallabhi in 5th century AD. Okay, not BC, it's AD. And the final compilation of Jain literature called 12 Angas was completed in this council. That is on Vallabhi. That is the second Jain council. The final compilation of Jain literature called 12 Angas was completed. Okay. So this is about Jainism, its spread and Mahavira's teaching. And next is Buddhism. Okay. So Buddhism is more familiar than Jainism. Life of Gautama Buddha around 567 to 487 BC. Gautama or Siddhartha, the founder of Buddhism, was born in 567 BC in Lumbini garden near Kapilavastu. His father was Sudodana of the Sakya clan and mother Maya Devi. And the sight of an old man, a diseased man, a corpse and an ascetic turned him away from worldly life. And he left home at the age of 29 in search of truth. Okay. And he wandered for 7 years and met several teachers but could not get enlightenment. At last, he sat under a Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. okay, at Bodh Gaya, and did intense penance, after which he got enlightenment. That is what enlightenment means, nirvana, at the age of 35. Since then, he became known as the Buddha or the enlightened one. After that, he got the name, that is Buddha or enlightened one. He delivered his first sermon at Saranath near Benares, and for the next 45 years, he led the life of a preacher. He died at the age of 80 at Kushinagara. Okay, so this is about basic about Buddha, or this is the one, here is one picture, that is Buddha. So you can Google it also, you will get better picture. Okay, so teaching of Buddha, what is about teaching of, what about the teaching of Buddha? Let's see. The eightfold path consists of right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. And the four noble truths of Buddha are: the world is full of suffering, and the cause of suffering is desire. If desire are get rid of, suffering can be removed. This is the four noble truths of Buddha. And the eighth path, they are right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. This is the eighth path, okay, eightfold path. And this can be done by following the eightfold path and right concentration. Buddha neither accept God nor reject the existence of God, and he laid great emphasis on the law of karma. And he argued that the condition of man in this life depends upon his own deeds. Okay, he taught that the soul does not exist, and however, he emphasized ahimsa. And by his love for human being and all living creatures, he entered himself to all. Even under the grave provocation, he did not show the least anger or hatred, and instead conquered everyone by his love and compassion. So this is one of the neutral life. Okay, his religion was identical with the morality, and it emphasized purity of thought, word, and deed. He was rationalist who tried to explain things in the light of reason and not on the basis of blind faith. Okay, all the things behind there is a reason. So though he did not make a direct attack on the caste system, and he was against any social distinctions and threw open his order to all. Therefore, Buddhism was more a social than a religious revolution. And it taught the code of practical ethics and laid down the principle of social equality. Okay, so this is the about the teaching of Buddha. Okay, and spread of Buddhism. How the Buddhism spread? Buddha had two kind of disciples. One is monks, and that is bhikshus. Monks are bhikshus. Okay, and lay worshippers, that is upasikas. The monks were organized into the sangha for the purpose of spreading his teachings. The membership was open to all persons, that is male or female, and without any caste restrictions. And there was a special code of nuns restricting their residence and movement. Sariputta, Moggallana, and Ananta were some of the famous monks. Okay, Sariputta, you can pronounce your own way. Okay, just take care of the spelling. And Moggallana and Ananta were some of the famous monks. The Sangha was governed on democratic lines and was empowered to enforce disciplines among its members, and owing to the organized effort made by the Sangha. Buddhism made rapid progress in North India even during Buddha's lifetime, and Magadha, Kosala, Kausambi, and several republican states of North India embraced this religion. About 200 years after the death of Buddha, the famous Mauryan emperor Ashoka embraced Buddhism. We will discuss later next chapters. And through his missionary effort, Ashoka spread Buddhism into West Asia and Ceylon. Thus, a local religious sect was transformed into the world religion. So this is about the spread of Buddhism. Next is Buddhist Council. The first Buddhist council was held at Rajagraha under the chairmanship of Mahakashapa immediately after the death of Buddha. And its purpose was to maintain the purity of teaching of Buddha. And the second Buddhist council was convened at Vaishali around 383 BC. The third Buddhist council was held at Padaliputra under the patronage of Ashoka in Mauryan Empire. And Moggaliputtu Tissa presided over it. The final version of Tripitakas was completed in this council. The fourth Buddhist council was convened in Kashmir by Kanishka under the chairmanship of Vasumitra. And Ashwagosha participated in this council. And the new school of Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism came into existence during this council. Okay, so please take care of this, first council, second council, and fourth Buddhist council, that is on Kashmir by Kanishka under the chairmanship of Vasumitra. And Ashwagosha participated in fourth Buddhist council, and the new school of Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism. The Buddhism preached by the Buddha and propagated by Ashoka was known as Hinayana. So Hinayana Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, two kind of schools. And the Buddhist texts were collected and compiled some 500 years after the death of Buddha. They are known as the Tripitakas. Tripitakas, namely the Sutta, the Vinaya and the Abhidhamma Pitakas. Okay, Tripitakas. These are the three. Three means Tripitakas, that means three. Three Pitakas, namely Sutta, Vinaya and the Abhidhamma Pitakas. Okay, so you just take care of the spelling, and they are written in the Pali language. These Pitakas are written in Pali language. And causes for the decline of Buddhism. What are the causes for the decline of Buddhism? The revival of Brahmanism and the rise of Bhagavatism led to the fall of popularity of Buddhism. The use of Pali, the language of the masses, as the language of Buddhism was given up from the 1st century AD. And the Buddhists began to adopt Sanskrit, the language of the elite. After the birth of Mahayana Buddhism, the practice of idol worship and making offerings led to the deterioration of moral standards. And moreover, the attack of the Huns in 5th and 6th centuries and the Turkish invaders in 12th century destroyed the monasteries. So this is the 2-3 points for the causes of the decline of Buddhism in India. And the contribution of Buddhism to Indian culture. What are the, in culture we will discuss this Buddhism topic. And what are the contribution of Buddhism in Indian culture? Buddhism has made a remarkable contribution to the development of Indian culture. So one is the concept of ahimsa was its chief contribution. Concept of ahimsa, later it became one of the cherished value of our nation. It contributed to the art and architecture of India was notable. The stupas at Sanchi, Bharhut and Gaya were wonderful pieces of architecture, and Buddhism take the credit for the chaityas and viharas in different parts of India. And it promote education through residential universities like those at Taxila, Nalanda and Vikramashila. Okay, so important universities are Taxila, Nalanda, now also Nalanda University is there, and Vikramashila. And the language of Pali and other local languages developed through the teaching of Buddhism, and it had also promoted the spread of Indian culture to other part of Asia. So it's all about Jainism and Buddhism, and so far we discussed the religious and other causes for the rise of Buddhism and Jainism, and early life of Mahavira and his principle of Triratna, and early life of Gautama Buddha and his important principle like the Four Truth and Eightfold Path we discussed, and the patrons of Buddhism and the formation of the Sangha as well as the spread of Buddhism, and causes for the decline of Buddhism in India and its contribution to Indian culture. Okay, so in cultural part and philosophy part we will discuss. This is just a part of ancient history only. And again here is a, as usual, question for you. So the first question is, discuss the spread of Jainism in various part of India. So spread of Jainism, okay, around 150 words. And next question is, how did Buddhism become a world religion? Okay, so this is 250 word question, so you can write it. And so today we end here with this question, these two questions, and try to answer this question. And for more content, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.